Fear is a gatekeeper to your greatness. It stands tall, intimidating, casting shadows over your dreams, whispering that you are not enough. But what if I told you that every breakthrough, every life-altering moment of triumph lies just beyond that fear? Success isn't hidden in some secret vault. It's on the other side of the very thing you're afraid to face. Fear is not your enemy. It's your compass. It points you toward growth, toward the life you're capable of living, if only you dare to push through. When fear rises, it means you're on the verge of something meaningful. That shaking in your chest, that knot in your stomach, those are the signs that you're standing on the edge of change. The problem isn't fear itself. The problem is how you respond to it. Most people retreat. They listen to the voice that says, it's too risky, or you might fail. But not you. You're here because deep down, you know you were made for more. You sense that success is waiting, but it's waiting on the other side of fear. We're all afraid of something, afraid of failing, afraid of rejection, afraid of judgment, afraid of not being good enough. But fear is not proof that you're weak. It's proof that you're human. The strongest people you admire, they felt fear too. The difference is, they didn't let it paralyze them. They used it as fuel. They stepped forward anyway. And that's what separates the ones who dream from the ones who do. Fear wants you to play it safe, to shrink back into the comfort zone. But nothing extraordinary was ever built there. The comfort zone is where potential goes to die. It's where dreams fade into regrets. You cannot let that happen. You have too much inside of you. You were not put on this earth to tiptoe through life and make it safely to death. You were born to roar, to rise, to break barriers, and to leave a mark. And that will only happen if you face the thing that scares you most and do it anyway. The path to greatness is not a straight line. It's a series of moments where you're forced to choose courage or comfort. You cannot have both. Comfort will lull you into a life of mediocrity. But courage will build you into someone unrecognizable, stronger, wiser, and braver than you ever imagined. Every successful person has walked through fire. They've faced sleepless nights, self-doubt, and fear that felt overwhelming. But they didn't turn back. They leaned in. They realized that fear is not a signal to stop. It's a signal to go. It's your inner self preparing for growth. And that growth never comes easy. It will cost you your old mindset. It will challenge your beliefs. But it will give you something far greater in return. Freedom. The freedom to live a life defined not by limitations, but by possibilities. And every time you push through fear, it loses its grip. You become more powerful. You begin to trust your resilience. You begin to realize that fear has no power unless you give it power. Ask yourself this: how many dreams have you buried because fear convinced you they were impossible? How many times have you stood on the brink of something incredible only to back away because of doubt? That ends now. No more waiting for the perfect time. No more letting fear write your story. You have one life, one chance, and every second you give to fear is a second stolen from your potential. You must make a choice. Live controlled by fear, or rise and chase what's yours. The world is not changed by those who wait until they feel ready. It is changed by those who act in spite of their fear. Ready is a myth. Confidence comes after you do the hard thing, not before. So stop waiting to feel brave and start moving. Action breeds confidence. Action shatters fear. You don't need to know every step. You just need to take the next one. And with every step, the fear fades, the vision sharpens, and success gets closer. Keep moving forward. Fear is loud, but it's not the truth. There is something powerful that happens when you step into your fear. You begin to realize that most of it was a lie. It was never as big, as real, or as dangerous as your mind made it out to be. Fear exaggerates. It creates monsters where there are none. But when you confront it, you take back control. You see it for what it really is, a test. And when you pass that test, you level up. Every challenge you overcome, every fear you face, builds the armor of unshakable belief. You begin to understand that failure is not final, that rejection is not the end, that setbacks are setups for comebacks. Fear cannot withstand the force of relentless action. It retreats when you advance. It weakens when you speak truth over your life and refuse to bow to doubt. You are not here to live small. You are here to rise, and your rising begins the moment you choose to face fear and walk through it with your head high and your heart on fire. You don't become fearless by avoiding fear. You become fearless by walking through it. So many times so many times that it no longer controls you. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's mastery over it. It's choosing to act while the fear is still present. The lion doesn't wait until it feels calm before it hunts. It moves with purpose, despite the danger. You must do the same. You are capable of so much more than you think. But you'll never discover that power if you keep turning away from fear. That dream you have, that goal that keeps you up at night, it's waiting on the other side of action. It's waiting on the other side of risk. Yes, you might fall. Yes, you might fail. But what if you fly? What if everything you want is just one brave decision away? You owe it to yourself to find out. Don't let fear become your ceiling. Make it your launch pad. When you move through it, you grow. When you grow, you rise. And when you rise, nothing can stop you. Fear is part of the process. It shows up when you're doing something that matters. That fear you feel before speaking your truth, before applying for that opportunity, before stepping onto that stage, it means you're about to grow. Embrace it. Let it remind you that you're stretching beyond your limits. You were not made to live a life of hesitation. You were made to live a life of bold moves and brave decisions. You must stop shrinking yourself to fit the mold. Break the mold. Create your own path. Every person who's ever changed the world has done it. Afraid. They didn't wait for permission. They didn't wait for applause. They stepped out with trembling hands and determined hearts. And so must you. You will never know how powerful you are until you face the thing you fear most. And when you do, you'll realize it wasn't power it had over you. It was just a story you believed. Rewrite the story. Make yourself the hero who faced fear and won. Success is a decision to rise above fear, to move forward when everything in you wants to turn back. It is not reserved for the fearless, but for the bold, for those who feel fear and fight through it anyway. There is no magic switch that makes the fear go away, but there is a switch that flips when you choose to act despite it. That's the moment everything changes. That's the moment you shift from victim to victor, from dreamer to doer. The people who inspire you are not different from you. They just made a different decision. They chose courage over comfort. They chose action over anxiety. And now it's your turn. Whatever your fear is, whether it's failure, judgment, starting over, or not being enough, face it, call it out, then crush it with action. You were built to endure, built to break through. And once you've seen what's possible on the other side of fear, you'll never go back to playing small. You'll know that success isn't found in safety. It's found in the fire. The fire of transformation burns brightest in the face of fear. It is the forge where strength is created, where character is refined, where champions are made. Every time you lean into discomfort, you are becoming more. You are becoming the version of yourself who no longer bows to doubt. You are becoming the one who leads, who inspires, who creates change, not just for yourself, but for everyone watching you. You never know who is waiting on the other side of your courage, who might find strength in your story, who might finally take their leap because they saw you take yours. So don't just do it for you. Do it for the ones who will come after. Do it because you know that fear will always be there, but so will the choice. And when you choose growth, when you choose courage, when you choose to rise, you change your life. The fear will fade, but the success you gain, the person you become, and the legacy you leave, that lasts forever.